Yeah.
Randy's drinking soda. Sunkist.
Sunkist.
They're not sponsors. Let's not give them a thing.
Okay. Orange soda.
Crush. So, welcome everybody. Ashley's off. I was off last week, so Randy gets to sit in 2 weeks in a row. Lucky you.
Suckered me into it again.
Lucky you.
So that means I'm off next week?
If you want, baby.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So everybody,
I don't want to be off. There's like so much going on.
There's a lot going on right now.
I feel like I said, I talked about this earlier in the week. I love like just true crime or even fake crime too. Like right now I'm watching the Netflix special His and Hers, and I'm only like 3 episodes in, but it's like the whodunit type thing. And so I'm just really interested in reading the news. Like the news to me has always been entertaining. I've grabbed Dad's Sunday paper. We called it the rag. I won't tell you which one it was. And I'd always read it, you know, from the beginning. Like, you know, that's my earliest memories of, and I think it's weird sometimes too, you know, to be entertained by the news or by crime, if you will. But I think that's also
some sort of psychopath, sociopath
Randy,
situation.
I think it's human interest. It's human. Are you not interested when you hear these things? Or
I want to know if it's something that's going to affect me, but other than that, I don't really.
Okay,
if it doesn't,
Randy,
it's not going to affect me.
You're a different breed.
Well, now Marcy is one of those. If Marcy could watch 24 hours a day, you know, serial killer stuff, she would.
Ellen would too.
And there was a lady that I used to work with at the TV station. If you said the word serial killer, she was under the desk. Oh my God, don't say that. Don't talk about that stuff.
Does it concern you that your wives are obsessed with watching this? No, not at all?
Well, I'll say exactly what
Randy, on the other hand.
This is what I've said, you know, 100 times. Marcy has alpha-gal syndrome. Get bit by a tick, you're allergic to red meat. That's any hooved mammal. That means technically she could eat human flesh. So if I come up missing and Marcy's gaining weight.
Wow, that's really morbid.
Meaty.
My wife hasn't killed me by now. She's never going to kill me. That's kind of the way I look at it.
You better knock on wood, Bob. So the true crime saga, I think that I'm referring to right now, is the one happening over in Louisiana, Missouri. Just to give you a quick recap on it, it all started when there was like a question on whether or not John Boyd's Fourth Amendment right was violated when police entered his home based on, it was a call from someone saying that there was squatters in the home. So that someone that called was the next door neighbor. The next door neighbor happened to be the mayor's wife. So the mayor's wife saw, you know, somebody in there. She was questioning them. That somebody was Mr. Todd. He had been working on the place since April for renovations, according to the real property manager that Michelle McCormack interviewed on a video. And in those April renovations, you know, he replaced, I think, like 25 windows. There was a time where his ladder was up and the wife took a picture of him on the ladder. I don't really know for what reason exactly, but she was concerned there were squatters there. In her defense, there were squatters there before, but
years ago,
but they were removed. So right now, you know, I'm not really sure. I mean, if you're like that nosy of a neighbor, you should probably figure out that this is a contractor right now.
Yeah.
But the saga goes on. So in a city council meeting, I think it would be, in the small town of Louisiana that has a population of about 3,500, and I think I'm giving them some.
It's in that neighborhood, yeah.
It's about,
I remember the number,
right.
but
You're
it's
close.
Over 3,000.
So a councilwoman named Heather Warnowski, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, she questioned the police chief. This police chief is Police Chief Josh Baker, on the actions, on whether or not that was lawful. And so I guess in that council, we didn't get to actually hear, I don't think, how she questioned him, but it was not taken, like, he didn't like that. And there were words that were said, and then a man who one news team reported as a constituent of the community, gave this story to news entities. We reported who that man was, and that man was Heather Warnowski's stepfather, trying to come, I think, to the defense of his stepdaughter as a good stepdad or dad or anybody would. Now, because that other news source decided to not say that that was her stepdad and called him a constituent, when they had an actual hearing on whether or not Heather Warnowski's comments were liable for her to be suspended or impeached from the council, that played a part in it because this media source didn't, include the fact that this was her stepfather. So we at Muddy River News like to include all the details, whether or not, they like it or not. So, okay, he came to us with this story, and then some things happen. When this came to light, social media, like it always does, comes in an uproar, outrage, and the police chief, Josh Baker, blamed Warnowski's conduct for the extreme Facebook criticism and demoralizing of the department. So the demoralizing of the department, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, probably came before Mr. Josh Baker, as your police chief was already suspended for like some kind of drug ring or something. And that other media source that kind of effed this case up in the first place, lumped that all together, like kind of lumped that sticky situation in with this situation. And instead of blaming that media source, he blamed Ms. Warnowski for her comments that stirred that Facebook criticism. Now, she did not make a comment on Facebook, but when she questioned the police chief in the council chambers, it was her tone that set the bar. It was her tone that apparently made it so that this criticism stirred. It was the way she presented her question. Now, I had a couple people in there, and I heard from their firsthand experience, because I don't know if I would call it tone. It was maybe a little attitude. That kind of
the same thing, isn't it?
Is it, though, to ask a question? I feel like anytime...
You wouldn't know unless you heard how it was actually said.
But anyway, can't you ask a question? I think like anytime an uncomfortable question is asked, then somebody is going to say that was snarky or blame it on your tone.
Right.
I can ask the most dead-ass question and
Did you have a hamburger for lunch?
No, that's too much. I could be like, hey, did you have a hamburger?
Yeah.
Did you have a hamburger for lunch?
Yeah.
And you're like, you bitch. Just because it's like coming from me as a woman. And that is something, that's a whole nother story. I don't even want to get into that right now. A little bit more of the details on how this is all connected real quick. So then that hearing was had. Ms. Warnowski's lawyer was Nick, I'm going to say Frigo. He did a really, in my opinion, good job representing her, because he questioned, hey, so the demoralizing of the department, did you lose any officers? Did this comment cause you guys to not be able to do your jobs? This, and this? And the answer to that was no. That lawyer, though, also, just to draw the connections, is the husband of the real property manager that Michelle McCormick got that interview with. I say real property manager because this all stemmed from somebody claiming that they were the property, and she was actually the housekeeper, which made it so that technically they were violating this man's Fourth Amendment right, because she had no right to give them permission to enter his house, and the things were
She identified herself as the property manager. Am I correct in that?
Yes, the cleaning lady
to the police. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't see how it's the police's fault.
If they lied to her, or if she lied to them.
Yeah.
I think you're also maybe supposed to dot your I's and cross your T's, just like we as reporters have to do. I think you don't just take somebody's word for it that, hey, you're the property manager. I mean, Michelle has to do all her homework, especially with this case.
Small town stuff like that operates a little different, though, doesn't it?
Obviously, because everyone is related, everyone is connected. And as we're recording this today, there will be, I think they might be having a meeting tonight, so this will be news. You'll see this hopefully on our headlines tomorrow, but they are potentially replacing Heather Winowski's position. Oh, let me take that back. She was indeed impeached. It was a 5-1 vote. Her mother is actually on the council, but recused herself from it. So a 5-1 vote. 3 of those people were women. I really don't want to get on the women thing, so maybe it wasn't the woman tone thing, you know. And then I think that's kind of the mayor, and I've already said the mayor and his wife are the neighbors. Oh, so this new person that's coming in, we'll figure out who it is tomorrow. I'm not gonna. I mean, I have my suspicions, but it seems in a time where it's so hard to find city council members, to find representatives, where no one wants that job because you're doing this. I think somebody wanted.
Quiet in the back.
Somebody wanted this job, and maybe that's just my suspicions. I think it's also maybe my love for true crime. Like I said, I'm waiting for. There's always motive and probable cause for everything, I do believe. So I look forward to continuing to read this as the saga goes on. But
was the impeached council member, was she a different political party than everybody else?
Ooh, that's a good question, Randy. I do not know. That's a really good question.
I don't know. I don't know if they're. I think they are. I don't think there's political classifications.
Well,
there.
I mean, I guess in
there
a
aren't,
town
but-
that's
there aren't.
small.
But yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get it. But I don't.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
What did you compare this when I was like, I felt like, what's his name, Charlie Day, when I'm on the map, and I'm like, this is connected to this and this
Peyton
and
Place.
this.
Peyton
Like,
Place.
Yeah.
Peyton Place was a what?
It was
Soap
a soap opera in the late 50s, early 60s, and it was this dirty little town where everything went wrong, and everybody was at each other's throats all the time, and everybody was having affairs with everybody else and stuff.
Sounds like every soap opera.
Well,
where
yeah.
It was like everyone was
But this
related
was the original
to everyone,
one, yeah.
and I'm like, wait, you can't do that because he's your uncle. But yeah, I don't know. We just let it go because it was Days of Our Lives or
Yeah.
whatever.
Genital Hospital.
Yeah.
General Hospital. Nice.
Jeez. What are your thoughts, though, on, I guess, the whole thing? Like, do you think, from what I've told you, is that
the
reason
social media
to...
thing that so I don't keep up on this stuff regularly. I read up on it today. I read all the Muddy River stories on it today, and the social media thing, that's just a waterfall. That's a dam that burst, and once one person got on it, everybody got on it, and it comes down to the lack of accountability when you say something online.
But she didn't say anything. But she didn't say anything.
I'm saying
online.
everybody else
Let's be clear on
that
that.
did. Everybody else that did, and then caused all the furor around town, and kids getting brought into it, as well as other officers getting accosted by
Well, again, it just looks like you got a neighbor who's not happy with their other neighbor, and that has exploded to the level where the entire city council and city government's involved, and it's all over because some neighbor got over their skis on.
And on
their
top
neck,
of it,
so
the
they
guy
know
that
what
owns
they
the
want.
house has said, I own 6 or 7 properties around town. I'm selling them. I'm getting the hell out of here.
I don't blame him.
I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
I kind of
So
understand.
they've lost somebody that was somebody from out of town that's investing money in their town because of whatever's going on, and if it was, let's say it was totally innocent. Well, darn it, things went wrong today. There ain't nothing totally innocent in this, as far as I can tell.
No, not at all.
There's so much more. It's like every time we hear an update, it's like, wait, how is that person? It's just so many connections. It's so much, and again, I don't think, like we know more than anything, like you can't be held accountable, I don't think, for other people's actions on social media because of something you said in the council, in council chambers.
Professional capacity. Yeah, no, that's
Crazy.
just ridiculous. That they would say, well, you did this, so people yelled at me, so it's your fault. No, that's not how it works.
I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing it's a volunteer-based job. She may be paid like as a councilwoman, but it sounds to me like
not a lot, I would imagine.
But I guess
council
integrity.
members don't get hardly anything. They get like $3,000 or $4,000 a year or something.
If that.
I
I mean, that's in Quincy. I mean, in Quincy you get $100 a meeting. So
Integrity comes into play, though, and I think the next thing you're going to see is, who knows, maybe she'll have a lawsuit on her hands too, and this saga continues. I I do call it a saga because it seems like, the never-ending story. The other news media called it like I don't know, it was like community in crisis. I don't really think it's a crisis. I think that was a little...
It's a bit much.
Self-created crisis.
Yeah, I mean, another reason why I want to say, like, when I enjoy this is because, no one was physically harmed or hurt in this.
Right.
So that's why I guess I find
there
it
was kids brought into it, though, that were
they got
bullied
picked on, and that's not cool.
So that's, not getting smacked in the head, but that's mental.
You cannot control other people's behavior, though, I feel like, based on something you did or said inside. But then again, that's small town living, too.
Yeah.
That's you have your pros and cons of small town living, so.
We have that here, so. I mean, that's yeah. But again, you can't be held accountable because somebody looked at something you said and then decided to say something completely different or go down some ridiculous rabbit hole on it. That's, it's not. We're not talking fruit of the poisonous tree stuff here, So.
According to our upcoming guest, who does have a little bit of some knowledge in this, because she's from a pretty small town herself and is a councilwoman on the board in a Missouri city, and this happened in Missouri. In Missouri, a city council person can face political trouble, such as censure, loss of committee assignments, or impeachment for questioning city departments. But they are generally protected from legal liability if acting in good faith to investigate unlawful actions as part of their legislative duties. I do think when she was questioning this, she was questioning that it was a question. That was the other thing. It shouldn't, even if she gave it to him in the bitchiest of tone, it was still a question that you should be able to answer, I think, especially in your position. Let me finish that. However, council members must adhere to specific legal procedures for inquiries, usually through the city manager or establish investigatory. She's really good at reading.
Big words.
Processes to avoid violating separation of powers or local charter rules. So maybe there was a violation there that I don't know. I don't know Louisiana laws.
And they might be drumming it up too. You never know. I mean, again, it's. I would think that if a person has concerns or questions, they should be able to speak freely about them, and they should be able to raise those questions for other people to take umbrage or whatever. It's kind of bullshit.
Otherwise, it's wide open prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do anything you want, and nobody's going to ask you any questions about it. So
Yeah.
you got to be able to do that.
It is a council person's job to ask those questions.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
She wants to emphasize too, again in Missouri, that it is that the person generally, a city council person, generally has the authority to question city departments regarding potential unlawful actions. I would think that's also their job.
Yeah,
so
absolutely,
did this
100%.
lady get fired, impeached for doing her job just because she may or may not have said it with a little bit of tone? I mean, I'm sorry, but if it were a man saying it with some tone, I think there would be different repercussions. I think the outcome would be different. I don't want to get in the whole equality thing because I will have you here forever. I'm wearing my girls' basketball sweatshirt today.
There's a double standard. I freely acknowledge that. I'm not going to say there's
wearing
not.
my girls' basketball sweatshirt today. Tell them about the shootout.
Yes, the Quincy shootout this weekend. The weather is playing havoc with it. And a lot of those teams that were supposed to come in from like out of town, like Texas and wherever, aren't coming in. So they're paring down the games. There's still teams coming in from like the Chicago area, Kansas City, the Missouri side as well. There's going to be fewer games Saturday, a reduced ticket price because of that. Got all the information will be on Muddy River Sports if you want to take a look at that. Also, don't forget we're giving away hairball tickets, so make sure you go to contest at Muddy River News and try to win your hairball tickets. And if you win the hairball tickets and I see you there, I might buy you a beverage. How's that?
That's right
I'm
up
going to
your.
enter the contest.
I was about to say, that's right up your alley,
I'd buy
Randy.
you a beverage anyway.
So to enter that contest real quick, it's contest@muddyrivernews.com. Just need you to send that email. You can just send your name. You can say, hey, I want to go to the concert. And then, boom, you're entered to win. And then one last thing I wanted to add to the shootout. The girls were scheduled to play for Saturday afternoon. I think it was at 1:30. Now they are going to be, I believe, your nighttime headline.
8:30 Friday night after the QHS boys game. So the QHS boys game will be at 7, and then the girls will play at 8:30
On
Friday night. So
Do
anyway.
the boys play again then the following Saturday? Or?
They play again the next day, yes. Girls don't, but the boys will play again the next day. So, yeah.
There, I just entered.
There you go. Randy's in.
Nice.
So Randy is our friend, but he is also not a real employee. He is a contracted person, so he is technically eligible to win.
I'll donate him back if I win.
If you donate him back, that's fine.
Okay.
So,
He's
but
my
anyway,
muddy buddy. through and through.
Hairball is a lot of fun, and again, we try to go to it every year. And again, it's on February 21st, and we're going to do the drawing on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Why are we doing it on Friday the 13th?
I don't know. That's what Ron
Because,
told me.
Satan.
Ron.
Yeah.
Come on, Ron.
I don't know.
Nah, it'll be fine. It's a week ahead. It's plenty of time. So
Yeah, give them a little time to make their plans.
4 tickets to go to Hairball.
Sounds great.
You go to dinner, pick a place downtown to go to dinner. It's a lot of fun. And then you walk over to the Oakley Lindsay Center if it's not freezing ass cold like it's going to be this weekend. And yeah, it's a good time.
I'm going to stay inside and edit all weekend.
This weekend, yeah,
I've got things to do.
Man,
yeah.
Randy, I was going to ask if you wanted to take a road trips with Randy to Louisiana, Missouri, and check out some houses that were under construction.
House might be for sale, yeah.
You're going to get in the rental business in Louisiana. That sounds like a lot of fun. So
Slap a coat of paint on it, we're good to go.
All right. But we have, like I said, we have a wonderful guest who's been on before. We're looking forward to talking to her.
I have a feeling she's going to have an opinion on this story. I want to
Yeah.
hear that a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Why would
and
you say that?
She might have some stuff to talk about that's going on in America's hometown too. So we'll be right back after this.
Over time, if a case goes unsolved, the victim and the family don't get justice. And it's important that not only we get justice for the victim and the family, but that the perpetrator involved in the incident is held responsible.
What have you been missing on Muddy River Gems? You won't believe your eyes. My crew and I have been bringing you stories for more than 20 years on PBS and now Muddy River News. And we're just getting started.
You can't put any of that on there.
Oh darn! That would have been so good to start. But
With
okay.
the resting bitch face?
Yeah.
Wait, where's the camera? Where should I look?
April Azotea, everyone. She is the 2nd Ward Hannibal councilwoman, councilperson. What do you like to be called? Councilman?
What do you get called?
Just April is fine, but it's always still really awkward because I got sworn in April of last year. But it's always awkward when people are like, come up to me, they're like, councilwoman. I'm like, the formalities aren't really necessary. Just April is fine.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm very chill, low key. You don't have to be formal like that with me ever, whether it's in City Hall or not.
I think like that goes to show like your personality too, and that helps adhere to your constituents because you are small town Hannibal.
Yes.
America's hometown, as Bob. I mean, I know everyone calls it, but Bob.
Yeah,
really,
I didn't
Bob-
coin it.
No, I know, but you really like to drive that one home all the time.
It's also my birthplace.
Is it?
Hey, so when you guys, whatever you do with St. Elizabeth's, you got to take the room where I was born, and that's got to be preserved. It's going to be a thing.
You better get on that.
All right.
So, I was in there like back when it was sort of still kind of an office building, and I took one last tour. I'm like, hey, where was? And then so they like took me down to like where the maternity ward was. I was like, oh, okay, this is where it all
That's where
happened.
you were
So
born.
yeah, so it was cool.
I got to. I was
I guess
born,
I didn't know they
Were you
were
St.
born
Mary's?
Yeah, where were you
It's
born?
gone.
Quincy.
But do you know which
St. Mary's
hospital?
or Blessing?
I think-
Blessing.
Okay.
You weren't St. Mary's? You're like my age. Well, I mean, it would still be Blessing, but it was the
Back
St.
then.
Mary's. Yeah, she's only a year after me, so I would think the maternity ward would have still been there.
But Blessing and St. Mary didn't merge till the early 90s.
Listen, I was,
Not born in the early 90s.
no, so I'm saying, like, I guess, okay,
It
so.
was still, they were two separate entities when you guys were born.
Oh, okay. So maybe we were born in a different building. When St. Mary's, aka the Old Blessing, was torn down, I did not get to see my birthplace, but I'm not really sad about it.
So, everything that you thought it would be and more?
It's great.
I think before we start at council, I want to see, let our audience know who
Sure.
April Azotea actually is. So, like you said, you were.
Do tell. I love finding out who I am from other people, especially.
Well, I'm not.
We're asking you.
I'm asking you. We're not going to. I'm not going to tell you. I mean.
I just always, especially in the last year, before I actually got on council during my campaign and everything, I've always just thought it was hilarious hearing rumors about myself, and I was like, dang, I didn't even know that involves me. I was like, tell me more.
Tell me what I did.
Tell me more.
I'll tell you what I think about you real quick. Just my rundown, and then we'll get into it all with the interview. But I've known you for a long time. I think we graduated maybe together. You might have graduated a year after me. I think I might be
A year after, I think.
But we were in some AP classes together. We grew a
Brittany and I
friendship.
both excelled in Steinke's class, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Thank you, Mr. Steinke, for the great English education. I know we shocked you, but we did well for ourselves.
That inferno. Nobody.
Nice.
But April is, like I said, the second ward councilwoman. But before that, you were so much more. You were like a huge voice in Hannibal. So you moved from Quincy to Hannibal. You were a huge voice there. I watched you be an animal advocate. I watched you put people in their place. I watched you question city council for tons of things. And then you immersed yourself inside of city council. So that's how I look at you if I want to say like who you are. But then, I mean, I know you're so much more outside of that. So I want to start from the beginning. Maybe not so much the beginning, because we're not going to, the hospital or whatever. But
From birth.
yeah, from birth. Who was April Azotea before council?
Well, and kind of along with what Bob just said about how's council been and everything.
We'll get to that.
I'm still me. I'm still holding people accountable and holding their feet to the fire. I think it's why people elected me, because unfortunately, kind of with me, what you see is what you get. I'm pretty black and white. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm most likely going to do it. And to me, just like I said during my campaign, the way I was raised, right is right and wrong is wrong. And before I was on council, and now that I am, I'm still going to do what is in the best interest of the community and in the best interest of all the citizens. That is my job. That is the oath I took to uphold the law and to hold people accountable. And so I'm still going to continue to do that, just from a different standpoint. Now I get to sit up there like kind of above people, even though that's the thing, is I don't think I'm above anybody by any means.
Yeah, but they actually physically put you above people.
They do, yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
awkward. I'd honestly rather be sitting down in the audience still, so it's still awkward for me.
Well, the old, before we dig into like some of your background, the old saying is, you can either stand outside the tent and piss in it, or piss inside the tent and piss out of it.
I have not heard that one.
So now you're in the tent. But when you owned the bar downtown for several years, and did that sort of, obviously that's a huge part of the public because it was a very popular place, and I was there several times. And does that, being a bar owner, a bartender, as you guys have both been for years, that really gives you a good insight on kind of human nature in general, right?
Yes. Because we deal with the public, and we get to see them in a light that I think that most people wouldn't. Like, seeing somebody at their 9-to-5 job versus seeing them at nighttime after they've had a couple drinks, I feel like
The truth just comes out.
Yeah.
And this is the thing is, bartenders are like part-time therapists.
Oh, for sure.
Literally, part-time
For sure.
therapists. And I have so many regulars from all the bars and restaurants that I've ever worked at that are like family. You have your regulars that are like family. And I remember running and for city council and they're like, oh, she's just a bartender. She's just a bartender. And I'm like, y'all really just, it's not just a matter of opening a beer or making a Jack and Coke. There's so much more to it. And I've been in the bar and restaurant industry for 22 years now. And I did sell the building that the lounge was in. I sold the building. I didn't sell the business. So potentially could see another La Azotea lounge elsewhere. I'm not necessarily sure there would ever be a brick and mortar, but I've always wanted to convert like an old horse trailer into a mobile bar for like festivals, weddings, events, stuff like that. I've done private parties, celebrity bartending, which is weird to me. I'm not a celebrity. I'm a nobody, really. I'm just an average person like everybody else. I'm just very opinionated, unfortunately.
Okay, so like we were talking about with that, like what do you think with the bar industry, like those conversations, that being exposed to the public, that getting right in there, did that prepare you for what you're doing today?
For being on council?
Yeah, like do you think those conversations, just like I said, being like what you said, okay, one, we're therapists. I think that started in Ann Sebbing's class when we took psychology together, and little did we know later that we actually were going to have to utilize that. But one, we're therapists. You hear people's stories, their complaints, their everyday lives, this, and this. Did that help you with counsel? Did it inspire you for counsel? Did any of your bartending and bar ownership, like I said, because it's a little more than being a bartender when you're owning and crunching numbers and being everything. Did this prepare you for what you're doing now, by any chance? And like, give me like, I guess,
think being in the bar and restaurant industry for almost 22 years, this is the thing, is being a bartender, bar owner, you have to have a thick skin. And the things that my opponent and her bandwagon were like doing and saying, absolutely like downright disgusting, false things that were meant to break me. Listen, when you're a bartender, you're called every name in the book. You got to cut somebody off, you got to kick somebody out, and you have to have a thick skin. And so, I mean, you can do and say your worst. It's not going to faze me one bit. And I feel like they certainly did try to do and say their worst. And it was, some of the things were definitely hurtful and sad and despicable, but that's the thing, is I feel like it ended up backfiring with the second election, and her 100 votes essentially came to me towards the end. And people know me. I could have said a lot. Trust me, I wanted to, but that would make me no better than them. And I wanted to run a fair, clean campaign, and that's what I did. And in the end, it worked out for me. For once in my life, I kept my mouth shut. I'm so proud of myself for that.
Also, as a bartender, I think I can speak for myself. I know you as well. When you hear things, I think in the bar world, like you're like, oh man, I got the tea, I got the. You didn't go and run with that, and I respect you for that. I think that is something to be said about your power.
Well, and that's the thing, is there was a lot of things that I knew about both of my opponents well before some of them came to light. Some of them never did. I could have easily came to the media, put on my social media, but to me, I wanted it to be fair. And I wanted to show that I'm not going to play dirty. I'm in this for the right reasons. Just like I have gone before council, I'm fighting for the people that don't feel comfortable. I've always been the type of person, I don't need anybody standing behind me. I'm gladly more than happy to fight my own battle on behalf of the people by myself before being on council, and continue to do so now that I am on council.
What was, back when you decided to run, what was the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back? What was the thing that made you say, oh, screw it, I'm going to run now?
Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what the club's for. And the drinks.
I decided to run 2 days before the deadline. Didn't think nothing of it. I honestly assumed that Dobson was rerunning. And I had called City Hall in regards to something else. That got brought up. I found out he wasn't running. And I made the mistake of saying to somebody, you dare me to run? and they double dog dared me. I got double dog dared. I couldn't
Had to do it.
I couldn't
Had to do it. Had to.
But there
Yeah.
are things leading up for you to doing that. I
Yeah.
feel like
I think a lot of people expected me to, and honestly, I wasn't going to.
there was a road though leading up to that because you were very publicly outspoken. I want to get back, like I want to take a step back when we go like to the animal thing. But what were the political things that you were very outspoken about that may or may not have driven this? I know you say it was like a 2-day, but I think you were driving to
No,
it.
and I totally get what you're saying. So I think what was kind of like that back and forth for me was it made me so mad as a citizen that my voice was constantly silenced, or I wasn't allowed to voice my opinion or expose or attempt to hold people accountable. I was just, them up there, the council, the mayor, the city manager, like I was shut up. I was beneath them essentially.
I hate to interject, but do you think any of that, because it was a theme before that we were talking about, and I won't get into my big inequality theme now, but do you think any of that has to do with the fact that, one, you were a woman, and two, like you stated before, just a bartender?
As far as like the bartender thing,
No, the reason why they kept dismissing you and saying you can't have an opinion,
Okay.
is it because of this?
I think that
These reasons?
one, people's titles, not just with city council, but I think people's titles in many industries go to their head and they think I have power, I can control. And unfortunately, I'm not saying this is the reason why, but just the amount of men, it wasn't just the fact that I was just a bartender, but, and I don't consider myself young, I'm almost 40, we're almost 40, but just
But you're already
constantly hearing from people, oh, she's just a young, dumb female bartender. So dismissing me because of my age, dismissing me because I'm a female, dismissing me because I'm just a bartender. Like, it was a respect thing for me. And you're fighting with fire because the more you make my life a living hell, the more it fuels my fire, essentially. So it's backfiring for them.
So, when you look at, say the Stephen Franke situation where he got this big, $280,000 settlement from the city for just asking questions and trying to hold people accountable. Why don't, that should be the cautionary tale.
Well, okay, so the settlement he got, let's be honest, he got way less than what he had personally put in attorney fees to defend himself, all for asking a question and attempting to hold other city officials accountable, and kind of like what you were just talking about with the councilwoman that got impeached from Louisiana, Missouri. That is my job as a council person, to ask questions, to hold people accountable, to do what is in the best interest of the city and the best interest of the citizens. That is literally our job.
So does that threat make you nervous?
In what aspect?
Like, to know that you could possibly be impeached, for example, like what happened in Louisiana, Missouri, because you ask a question or you're questioning some public authority, but when you say it with a questioning concern, or, I don't know, your tone isn't the way that they want it to be.
Well, first of all, over the years, I feel like I'm very good about like watching what I say, especially now that I'm on. But my face gives me away, right? So people, I think, can just assume like I'm having attitude or whatever. I will say, in regards to the councilwoman from Louisiana, Missouri, questioning whether or not another city department was upholding the law for her being impeached, I don't agree with, nor do I think is legal, to be honest. I hope she's taking the necessary steps to get in contact with the Attorney General and the Chief Disciplinary Counsel, because we take an oath, and I take that oath very, very seriously. I have said that to other council members alongside me time and time again. Even if it's somebody coming before us that I personally don't like, when I say personal and professional, like, I hang that up real quick. I want to do what is in the best interest of the city, and I don't think that she was in the wrong for questioning whether or not actions that were taken, whether or not the law was upheld. Like, the law is the law.
Yeah.
There's no, so if you're not upholding the law and she's questioning why you are or aren't, how is she not upholding her oath to the people she took that oath to?
Yeah.
And she
You know?
has to be accountable for tone out of all things.
But
It's
that's
crazy.
the thing, is that's
like,
so
and what you
petty.
said with your face, it's like, oh, well, is my face okay when I'm questioning this? Are my eyes okay when I'm questioning this? Like, do we really have to check ourselves as women on every last aspect of the volume of our voice, the tone, the this, the that, to just be taken seriously and not be called a
I will
bitch?
say, now that I'm
Or-
on council, wording is everything. Verbiage is everything. Can you show me where in your charter, or is there an ordinance that says if I turn my head this way, if I have a tone this high, what law did she break? Someone please tell me, because that can be taken. It sounds like a
You just
personal
asking
preference.
that question though. You just said that with tone, April.
And that's the thing is, Brittany, I did not have tone. Trust me, if I wanted to have tone, I could. So for someone to think that she had tone,
understand.
that's like
Yeah.
a personal issue. And I personally don't think that she broke the law one bit. I think that they were very, very wrong in impeaching her. And again, I hope she takes the proper avenues to protect herself for doing her job and upholding her oath.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just, I mean, she's standing up for her constituents.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about her new endeavors?
Your new endeavors.
Which one?
I don't know. You have so many.
know.
Right
It's
now.
kind of like the Kevin Reed right now is like that guy. I keep seeing this on Facebook, and people have sent it to me, and they're like, "You're like that. You do like a little bit of everything type thing."
Yeah, I think so.
And,
you follow through with it.
It is one of those things that everybody's like, "Well, now that the bar is closed, like, what are you doing?" And I swear, people think I'm just like sitting around picking my nose. I promise you, I'm not. The city does, in fact, keep me busy, and just like I said to you earlier, Brittany, and I don't want to say against my will, but Second Ward is a very, very demanding ward between citizens, and it being downtown with the festivals and events is a very, very busy ward, and they keep me busy.
And also, you have to remember, in Hannibal, you only have one council person
Yes.
per ward, unlike Quincy, which has two, which is silly.
Well, our population is,
I do
Half.
think part of it is
Yeah.
population. We were talking about that before. I think part of it is population, but part of it is maybe trying to use it as like a, I don't know. I don't really get it either. To tell you the truth, I
don't know how
can't
Quincy
ever
does
get
it
a hold
with
of
two
it
Alderman.
either.
Like, I feel like that, because and it's an even number, not an odd number. So if both aldermen of the same ward don't agree on something, so then who is the tiebreaker then?
The tiebreaker.
Well, it's the mayor.
Yeah.
Because you got 14 aldermen, so yeah, so the mayor breaks ties.
Which I also
So
think
many.
what's weird
many.
in Hannibal is your mayor always holds usually a second job. Like the last mayor that we were, man, she's going everywhere. The last mayor, I believe, what was he doing for a living?
He works for
Hark?
Heartland.
Well, you had
was the
Barry.
guy that
Barry
was-
worked at County
I'm
Market,
sorry, the most previous.
and then and now
Barry stepped in when Jim Hark
Resigned.
stepped down before his term, and then Barry came in to fulfill the rest of.
What was
Yes.
Jim before that?
he worked for the Heartland Towing, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
So-
say like a car company or something.
Yeah, a
like
towing
that.
company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in regards to that, when people are like, "Oh, you're just a bartender," well, and I guess the mayor isn't held at a higher because you guys are just one vote. It's just like, well, you're the tow guy, you're the this. You all have occupations and
like our
side
current mayor works for the railroad.
He works for
full
BNSF,
time.
yeah.
It was his crew. The boy that got hit,
Yeah.
the train. That was his crew. So not only is he overwhelmed with like the calls from the city as the mayor, but that was his crew with the railroad. And
Yeah.
we all have full-time jobs. None of us are sitting around by any means picking our nose.
Yeah. But your recent endeavors right now, the lounge, you're still currently in there. Like you said, you're renting the building, but there might be aspirations to do something with the actual brick and mortar in regards to something that you love and that's near and dear to you. And I love being a part of it because I'm always like, ooh, I want that, is resale. You have a love for fashion, vintage,
Yes,
and
I'm
resale.
such like a vintage junkie.
So what's going on with
Well,
that?
I just feel like, and I'm like really big on like recycling and like, I remember it was like my first or second year the lounge was open. I tried to do away with straws completely just because of how many go into landfills and the animals. And then I got backlash from that because, you know, April Azotea gets backlash on everything she does, even when it's for attempting to do it for the good. And I have always had like a love for everything vintage, but then to just think that, oh my gosh, this 1930s dress is just going to go in a landfill.
I have to save it.
I have to save it, yes. It's honestly borderline unhealthy how many vintage clothes and jewelry. And the store that I volunteer at, they're like, what do you do with all of them? And I'm like, this is the thing is if I'm cleaning my house and I want to wear a gaudy outfit or roller skate down Main Street at midnight, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep the 1930s alive.
In good fashion.
So when the lounge closed and then I sold the building, the only reason why I essentially had to stay there is I got elected and I had to stay in Second Ward and I could not find anywhere to rent or buy in Second Ward. And so the people that bought the lounge, I stayed. And it was essentially a glorified storage unit, I'm not going to lie, and started dipping my toes into resale, which is like a new like hot thing, right? I've been in the bar and restaurant industry for 22 years. I've never done resale or anything like that. So I'm like starting to put things on eBay and it's like I'm there all the time. So my thought was, man, I'm here all the time. Why not let the public come in and kind of like be like a flea market? And unfortunately, I haven't gotten the store open yet because the city has been keeping me busy. It will be open soon, but Bailey Pugh has a little pop-up area that she does permanent jewelry in there, and I'm hoping to have the store open here soon. But I was actually going to invite you and Ashley down to maybe have a fun dress-up day because the amount of vintage clothing and vintage jewelry that I have. I'm
Trust
just
me,
saying.
we would love
super
to
cute.
Show that off.
I'm just saying.
Also, if Bob gives us an allowance to shop, that would be even better. Just saying. Okay, so vintage and dresses, that's not your only love to save.
Oh, gosh.
The first biggest thing that I saw you on where you became the loudmouth. I like to say what other people say. You know I don't think of you that way, but the loudmouth on animal rights, I guess. That's kind of where you really stepped into the spotlight for the Hannibal community prior to getting into the whole political scene. How did that start? Why did that start? I mean, obviously everyone loves animals, but like, what made you think?
No, correction.
Not everyone loves.
I guess
Not
never
everyone
mind,
loves
yeah,
animals.
I honestly, that has been like kind of mind-blowing to me, and also why I'm
like-
low-key like you are with crime when it comes to like psychology and trying to understand people. There are people that could literally watch a cat get ran over or throw a dog off a bridge, and I'm just like, and
That's awful.
every
Okay, so that is psychopathic tendencies, not watching true crime. I
Yeah.
just want to like
It
go
breaks my
ahead
heart
and
when
make
people
that happen.
people will post stuff like that on social media and then tag me, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. Like, it's so hard for me to watch that. And just the psychology aspect of it, I don't think I'll ever understand how people don't like animals.
Yeah.
But they're
that's just-
tagging you in that because why?
because I'm a huge animal lover, and that honestly kind of backfired on me though, because since I was so active about that, now it's like still X amount of years later, I will have people like, hey, there's this horse out on da-da-da, like I can see its ribs, and I'm like, do you want me to back my SUV up and be like, hey, get in the car?
Do you guys have animal control there, or how does that work?
We do, and recently there have been some issues specifically in my ward that have shed light on everything I fought so hard for and the importance of enforcing our ordinance and charter and making sure the wording in there is crystal clear to protect the ones that don't have a voice, the animals.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever understand why people get animals if they're not going to take care of them, which has been a huge issue with what I've been dealing with recently with several neighbors. It's been honestly heartbreaking and frustrating, but we recently had a meeting to circle back to how I started and kind of revise those and update those. So moving forward, we can enforce those and make sure that citizens are upholding our own city charter.
Do you have is there a city council committee that deals with that?
No, so we have the CSOs, they kind of wear multiple hats between yard maintenance, animals, and a couple other things. So there's a specific division of the police department that is to oversee that. So yeah, we've been working with them, and I've been working with a couple other people to bring before council some updates to make sure that the animals are protected. In the
You were really good at keeping your face all straight there. Just letting you know.
It was very hard. You know, I think I just kept circling back to when I originally started fighting the animals, when I went live at the puppy mill in Hannibal, and they tried to run me over live on Facebook, and I was like, these people are straight idiots.
I do remember that.
Wow.
I've been following you for so long.
I'm cheap entertainment. You're welcome.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you are great entertainment. I feel like that about a lot of people, but you are the entertainment that brings positivity, brings some outcomes, like positive outcomes, also force. Like, you're not just one of those keyboard warriors, the people that want to just bitch and not do anything about it, because you actually did something about it. You put yourself out there. You made yourself in a very vulnerable position, I feel like, because like you said, sometimes I can spend 20 hours in a couple of days talking to constituents. Kudos to you is what I want to say.
So you know how, like, when you're young and they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you want it to be?
Well, at first it was the veterinarian. I think a lot of little kids do that. But then I realized, because my love for animals and whatever, but then I realized the whole blood, gore aspect of it. And I was like, ooh, can't do that. And then I think it turned into, actually, when I was in college, the whole time I was thinking and studying, I did psychology. Maybe because I loved being in it. But I did psychology. Ann Sebbing really did, like, intrigue my mind with that. And then I double majored. I did criminal justice. I actually did criminal justice because I graduated from the great school of Quincy University. Don't eye roll me. I hope my school is still a school in the years to come.
Oh, gosh.
But, so I graduated from there, and my counselor, yeah, she was great and whatever, but she also had a condition. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get sued. But she didn't realize I didn't declare a major until like far into my junior year, and we're just adding up credits. And she's like, "Looks like you double majored in criminal justice and psychology." And I'm like,
Good
"Cool."
on you. Good on you.
You know, so I think my aspiration was to be a juvenile detention officer. And then I did that practicum, and I was like, I don't want to do that either. And then I graduated, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do.
Ask me what I wanted to be growing up.
I do.
What did you want to be growing up?
I wanted to be a force to be reckoned with. So.
I think I knew that from you from the first day that I met you.
Actually, I watched Legally Blonde, and I wanted to be a lawyer when I was younger from watching that. And I've always been intrigued by law. But yeah, I've always wanted to be a force to be reckoned with. And I feel like before council, held true to that, and I'm attempting to hold true to that regardless of what people think or believe about me or say about me. And I always say, what people think or say about me is none of my business, because at the end of the day, I know who I am. I'm going to be true to myself, and I'm going to keep doing me. Regardless what people say or do, I'm going to keep it up.
I think you fulfilled your Legally Blonde dreams, honestly, in a... Can I call you a Hannibalian? In a Hanniblian aspect.
Hannibalian.
I know they hate being called Hanniblians, but I just feel like it's so much better. You hate it when I call it.
I'm laughing at how you say it.
Like,
Hanniblian.
Like, yeah, it makes you think I'm nibbling corn or something. Hannibal.
I think she said it was like a
Hannibalian.
Hannibalian. There you go.
Hannibalian. I still like Hanniblian better. You're like, stop trying to make fetch happen.
It's like you're trying to say like hillbilly with, I don't know. I'm confused, but
maybe I am, maybe I am.
Jeez. Well, thank you for stopping by again.
Absolutely.
Best of luck continuing to serve your constituents in the city of Hannibal.
Yes.
Always good to see you.
I think you're doing a great job.
Always.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week.